You meet someone new, maybe at a coffee shop, maybe on a dating app, maybe in a job interview, and before they say a single word, you already know something. You feel it in your gut. Can you trust them? Your brain answers that question in less time than it takes to blink. But the real answer to how it does that is far stranger than you think. Your brain is not reading their personality. It cannot see their history, their intentions, or their honesty. It is reading their face, and it is doing so faster than conscious thought can even begin. In the early 2000s, a psychologist named Alexander Todorov ran an experiment at Princeton that changed how scientists understood first impressions. He showed people photographs of unfamiliar faces for just 1/10 of a second. That is faster than you can register a single word. And still, participants confidently rated each face as trustworthy or untrustworthy. Give them more time, even a full second, and their ratings barely changed. The verdict was already locked in. Think about that. 100 milliseconds. That is all your brain needs to decide whether a stranger deserves your trust. Not their words, not their actions, just the geometry of their face. Why would evolution build a brain this fast and this confident about something this important? The answer starts long before cities, before written language, before anything you would recognize as civilization. Your ancestors lived in small, scattered groups. Survival depended on quick decisions about who was safe to approach and who was not. A split-second misjudgment could mean the difference between a shared meal and a fatal encounter. There was no time for careful analysis. There was only time for instinct. So the brain evolved a shortcut. It learned to scan a face and extract instant signals, mostly related to safety. Wide eyes and raised brows once signaled fear or submission. A relaxed brow and softened mouth once signaled calm. Over hundreds of thousands of years, these signals became hardwired into how humans read each other. You inherited that wiring. It still runs constantly beneath your awareness, even now in a world your ancestors would not recognize. But here is where the story takes its first strange turn. The psychologist Nalini Ambady, working at Harvard in the 1990s, discovered something almost unsettling about how little information the brain actually needs. She showed people silent video clips of teachers, just a few seconds long with no sound and no context. Participants who watched these brief clips rated the teachers on qualities like warmth and competence. Months later, real students who had spent an entire semester with those same teachers gave strikingly similar ratings. A few seconds of silent footage predicted judgments formed over 16 weeks of actual interaction. Ambady called this thin slicing. Your brain takes a thin slice of information, a face, a posture, a fragment of movement, and builds a surprisingly consistent judgment from almost nothing. It feels like intuition, it feels like insight, but it is closer to pattern matching running on autopilot. Here is the twist that should unsettle you. This system is fast, it is confident, and it is often wrong. Todorov's later research revealed something remarkable about what actually drives a trustworthy first impression. It is not about someone's true character at all. It is about how closely their neutral, resting face resembles an expression of happiness or anger. Faces with slightly upturned mouths and softer features get read as trustworthy, even at rest, even in a passport photo, even when the person behind that face is a stranger you have never met and will never truly know. Faces with lower brows or downturned mouths get read as less trustworthy, regardless of the person's actual behavior. This means your brain is not evaluating character, it is evaluating resemblance. A resemblance to emotional expressions that evolutionarily once signaled danger or safety. You are not judging the person in front of you. You are matching their bone structure and muscle tone against an ancient template stored somewhere deep in your visual cortex. And the unsettling part is this. Studies following the same research tradition have shown that these snap judgments influence real-world outcomes. Faces rated as more trustworthy have been linked to more favorable courtroom sentencing patterns, higher rates of being trusted with money in behavioral economics experiments, and even greater success in political elections, where voters shown only a candidate's face for a fraction of a second could predict the winner with startling accuracy. None of that reflects who these people actually are. It reflects what their face happens to look like. So the question is no longer why your brain judges strangers so quickly. The question is what you are doing with a judgment this fast, this confident, and this frequently disconnected from the truth.